What's up, Reds? Happy Easter. It's good to be back. I was so excited to make a video this week. I just had to get back into it. So today we got a lot of news to get into, okay? So we know that King Kenny contracted the virus, but he's good. He's at home now. And then we got Henderson, okay? We got Henderson we're going to get into a little bit, the PlayersTogether movement, some transfer news, and some other things of the sort, all right? Let's get into it. Here we go. All right, Reds, before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to all my new subscribers. Thank you very much. And of course, if you're new, subscribe to the channel for all the latest Liverpool videos. And you get a chance to come on the show, okay? So if you're interested in expressing your thoughts, opinions, debating the topic of Liverpool FC, then subscribe, comment, DM me on Twitter as well. I'll give a link to my Twitter in the description. All right, so let's get into it. So everyone knows that Kenny Dalglish unfortunately contracted the virus. Now, the good news is he's at home. Okay, now he's in isolation. He was released from intensive care. That was a big deal. That really hit home for us, you know? I mean, it was like the first Liverpool player, big Liverpool icon actually, that contracted the virus. So we were all hoping the best for him. And the good news is he put out a statement saying the best thing we can do now is just stay in isolation, not compromise the integrity or compromise the health of anyone else. Now, additionally, it is time to give Henderson the respect he's been due for at least 4 seasons. This whole PlayersTogether movement, to my knowledge, was kind of started by Henderson and James Milner. So essentially what happened? Henderson wanted to support the National Health Services of England. I'm not exactly sure the details of it, but I know that organization is underfunded. So he organized an effort to have all the captains come together. To my knowledge, I think Sterling may have been there, maybe some other players as well, but they wanted to use a portion of their wages to help fund the effort to fight the virus over there in the UK, I think mainly England, but I'm not sure the whole details on that part. But you just got to think the nobility, he is such a good person for doing that. You know, all these players could have just sat back in isolation and not done anything. And you look at Henderson organizing an effort to actually help fight the virus in England. It's unbelievable. And then you saw all the players coming out with the PlayersTogether hashtag. It's really good to see that in this time of crisis where everyone's isolated. It's good to see people coming together, especially from our captain. So with that, give Henderson the respect he deserves, okay? He's been overlooked for so long just because he's not an offensive player, but he does all the work no one else wants to do. Additionally, the club reversed their furlough decision. Now, from all the news we're getting, people are thinking that it was leaked by a rival club. Who knows, all right? My money's on Man City. But who knows? People are saying it's Chelsea. Who knows? Who really knows? This furlough decision, it wasn't just Liverpool. Everyone was trying to at least do it a little bit. But now you're seeing teams like Southampton and West Ham, they're coming out and they're starting to defer wages now. So it's weird. It's like Liverpool got all the slack for it, but really they were just trying to make a good business decision. But really what it comes down to is supporting the fans and the community, and I don't think the fans like that one bit. I know I didn't. I would much rather see the players take a cut, but I think what Henderson did kind of offsets that, you know, that whole thing. Additionally, if you saw all the boys got online for Sadio's birthday, Van Dijk, Shaqiri, it was really funny to watch. I just watched a little bit of it, but they were all doing the Zoom meeting. I think Klopp organized it, but it's really funny. Give it a watch if you haven't looked at it. Now, getting into some of the more fun stuff. So transfers. Of course, Havertz has been linked with us for a while. He's very young. He plays for Bayern Leverkusen. 20 years old, German. He's left-footed. He's tall. He's like 6'1". I think he's a winger or center attacking mid. He's kind of like that role, but the rumors are that he's kind of going to Bayern. Now, of course, these rumors change every freaking day. Who knows where anyone's going anymore? What matters is that we aren't exactly going after him anymore, right? I mean, if he commits to Bayern, Klopp's not going to go out of pocket to sign him from Leverkusen. What we really need to focus on, in my opinion, is Timo Werner, however you want to say it. The man is exactly what we need, and I talked about this on last week's Sunday Summary. He is exactly what we need. He's the successor to Firmino, if you will, but he can also play in different positions. He can play in a 10 if he needs to, but he's more of a false 9. He can also play on the wing. So that's who we need to get. Now, the president of Leipzig says he's more relaxed about that situation now. He's not so much worried about Timo Werner, leaving. So with that being said, we just kind of have to wait and see, because of course Liverpool have put negotiations on kind of like of a a furlough, if you will. They're halting all negotiations until this whole virus thing rolls over. So as I mentioned before, the Premier League news. When is it coming back? We don't know. We just flat out don't know. Everyone is saying it changes every day. It used to be the end of April. Then it was May. Then we heard about isolation games in the Midlands of England in June and July. Then we heard about cruise ships. Seriously, we don't know. We heard about Dubai. I mean, now the MLB and NBA are all talking about doing isolation games in Arizona. NBA talking about doing it in Las Vegas. Nobody knows. The fact of the matter is clubs are preparing for this to go on longer than it should. So, for example, as I mentioned before, Southampton, West Ham have deferred their wages, or at least some of them. To my knowledge, clubs, of course, are losing revenue, or they're not getting the full revenue from the TV deals, from the NBC Sports deals. It's something around £700 million that they won't be getting, or that they'll have to pay back to NBC Sports for the TV rights. Something like that, okay? That's not exact, but the clubs are agreeing to advanced payments, right, from these entities, right, to ease their cash flow difficulties, right? Because they don't have cash flow coming in. Of course, they may have, like, for example, LFC TV, the YouTube channel, their Instagram. They get a little bit of revenue, but obviously the most revenue comes from match day ticket sales, TV rights, things like that. Merchandise. But merchandise isn't even close to as much as ticket sales and all that. So the ticket sales are really what is important. So to ease the cash flow and ease the wage demands and all that, they're getting advanced payments. Now, how this is going to affect each team in the long run, who knows? For me, I just want to see the league come back. Really, that's what it comes down to. But you got to take into account the health of everybody. You know what I mean? It's not as easy as just playing in isolation, because if you think about what has to happen in order for that to be safe, you have to test every single person, not just player and coach, every single person, media, coaches, trainers, the whole staff, cooks, everyone that's going to go with them. Then you have to wait 14 days to see if they don't develop symptoms. Then you have to isolate them, and then you have to transfer them over there in isolation. So there's a chance that they can contract it on the way to the location. And then when they're there, they have to practice isolation. They have to practice distancing. They have to test constantly. Of course, they have the money to do it. You have to think about what it's actually going to take, the manpower and the precision that's going to have to happen in order for that to take place. So my opinion is everyone's just waiting it out. Everyone wants the league to resume. Everyone. Clubs, fans, everybody, because they want the money. The clubs want the money, and the fans obviously want to watch sports. I'm absolutely dying without sports. In terms of what Liverpool's done, I think coming back on the furlough decision was great, because if you look at terms of the top 6 clubs, they're in the best position financially of this situation. It's the clubs like the Southamptons, the West Hams, especially the Bournemouths, things like that that are going to struggle. With that being said, we're just going to have to wait. And of course, I'll be doing updates on what's happening with the league. If any news comes out, I'll be dropping videos, or it's going to be in my Sunday summary, so you guys don't have to worry about that. So if you want the latest news, subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, I appreciate you joining me on this week's Sunday summary. Again, happy Easter, and I just want to thank all my new subscribers. Comment your thoughts on everything. Henderson, why Henderson needs to be not overlooked anymore. Kenny Dalglish, all that stuff. Comment your thoughts, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then of course I'll be back next week. I'll be posting videos if any other news drops. All right, Reds, take it easy.